Aloha everyone, Katie Freiling here, and today is actually the last day of my personal growth, personal transformation journey out here in Kauai, and I have to say the last 3.5 weeks have been so beautiful, so transformational, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every single minute of it. And in this video here today, what I wanted to do is really just kind of weave everything together and wrap it up so I could share with you really what I took out of this whole trip. But before I do it, one last time I wanted to show you where I'm staying because this is so gorgeous, you have to see it. This is the place that I have been staying for the last 10 days with a couple of my best friends that flew out here with me. And this is the view from our beachfront property, okay? This is like what we have been waking up to every single morning. It is just so incredibly gorgeous, and I feel so grateful to have been able to do this, to have been able to come out here and spend time alone, then spend the last 10 days with really good friends and really just immerse myself in nature. It's been amazing. Okay, so what I wanted to really talk about here with you today is inner self mastery. Because I know I've been talking a whole lot about, releasing patterns and really letting go of the past and all these things, but the reason you want to do this, and the reason I wanted to come out to Kauai, was really to become the master of my own inner self. And it is the most important thing that you can ever really do in life if you want to be a truly empowered, effective, integrated human being and entrepreneur. Okay, one of my all-time favorite quotes is from Adyashanti, a spiritual teacher, and he says, "At each and every moment we are expressing what we know ourselves to be. So if we know ourselves very little, we will express and manifest the unconsciousness of that. But when we know who and what we are very thoroughly, we will express and manifest that in everything we do." Okay, so the internal creates the external. And for those of you who have been studying any sort of personal growth or personal development, I'm sure you know that already. But it's really a question of, okay, well, our internal reality does reflect out and create the external, but how do we actually master the internal reality? How do we become the master of our own inner domain? And it all comes down to one thing. Honestly, if you implement this practice into your life, it will be so transformational and it will happen so quickly it'll blow you away. Alright, so it's a practice to integrate into your life and to start living moment by moment. And that practice is awareness. Okay, it is the most important thing that you can ever have, is awareness of your own internal state. So when you don't have awareness, the mind, which is normally, an incredible tool, it's a servant for our consciousness, but the mind will end up running the show. It'll end up controlling everything. And it doesn't become a servant of your own highest good. It actually ends up becoming the servant of the external world and of society and of conditioning and programming. And we can start to really accumulate all of these false, limiting beliefs and ideas, even self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors and patterns. And so, that's why I have been focusing so much on, really diving deep into that and releasing it. But when you really just have awareness of your inner state, that is what is transformational. Okay, so just awareness of being the observer, all right? So being the observer without trying to resist reality or without trying to, judge anything or feel like something's wrong. Just really, love yourself and be patient and accept your own self with your process and just practice observing it, all right? So as you have thoughts, for example, let's say that, you are confronted with a new challenge and you say to yourself, "Oh, I can't do this." Well, it's your responsibility to challenge that and to just, take a step back from it and ask yourself, is this really true? Alright? So just observe your thoughts, observe your patterns, observe your behaviors. And the more you do that without judgment, you will start to get discernment. You will start to be able to discern what is true and what is not, and what is just a fabrication of the mind. All right, that is the key to transformation. All right, so this awareness that you are cultivating of your own inner self will really help you disidentify from your mind. So instead of believing I can't do it, or believing what your mind is, the program that your mind is running, you can really start to have the truth, have the discernment of, wait a minute, this is just, something my mind is creating, and it's not necessarily true. And when you really, integrate that within yourself as a practice, that is when you truly can become the master. So it's about releasing these patterns, which will happen automatically. Okay, as you have more awareness, as you have more discernment, the layers of dirt and accumulation and all of these things that really keep us from living and operating at our fullest potential will eventually start to dissipate and naturally fade away. So it's about emptying your cup completely, and then allowing your natural self to be filled in its place. Your natural self of love and peace and calmness and harmony. And if you have, any sort of hard time figuring out what your natural self is, go spend some time in nature. Okay, that's, one of the reasons why I decided to come out to Kauai was to really get in touch with my natural self. Because if you really pay attention to nature, you'll see what our natural state is. It's harmony, it's being in the present moment, it's, cooperating with all of life, it's peace. And it's that natural state that, is actually where your true power and true mastery really lies. So if the mind is the servant, then the master is really the witnessing consciousness, okay? It's that part of you that is witnessing every single thing in your life. It is that part of you that never changes. So when you focus on and live from that part of you that never changes, since everything else in life, all physical reality is impermanent, it's transient, it's always flowing, always moving, always changing, but the part that never changes is the observer, is the part of you that's watching it all happen. Alright, so that is the master. Your own inner master is your witnessing consciousness. So it's really just a practice of observing. It's a practice of witnessing, and when you detach and disidentify, then the things that really are no longer serving you will tend to just, really start to strip and fade away. Okay? So, it's when you really open yourself up to truth, and you see that you really are infinite, and you have, infinite potential, there are infinite possibilities, then you can, really start to manifest that in your life, and you can start to really break through the limiting beliefs and all of the things that really keep you from really operating at your fullest and greatest potential. Okay? So, self-mastery is not something that happens overnight, it's a process. But it doesn't have to be anything that, involves struggle or resisting or trying to manipulate and control the world. It's really not about trying to master anything outside of yourself, trying to control anything outside of yourself. It's all about becoming that master of your own inner self, your own inner domain. And it's just about just letting go, accepting, and watching. So it's actually quite simple. It is very, very simple. So, I know that with the self-development and personal growth industry or arena, we can tend to think that we always need to improve or change ourselves and whatnot, but really it's not about that. It's really just about, letting everything be okay as it is. And just watching your own self, watching your own process, and having unconditional love for yourself as you do it. Alright, so I've gone through a whole lot of transformation over the last 3.5 weeks, and a lot of releasing, a lot of reprogramming, letting go of the past, all of these things. But essentially, the biggest practice and the most powerful practice in all of it is just the observation, is just practicing being the witness of your own life instead of, identifying with it and just being consumed by your thoughts and ideas and really what happens to you in life. Okay, so I am actually heading out today. I'm taking the red-eye flight here tonight. It is the full moon, and my friends and I are going to a full moon ceremony here in just a little bit. So that is going to be a really great send-off celebration for me. Headed back to San Diego and really ready to integrate all of these things that I have learned about myself into my daily life. And I am quite excited to do it. So I will see you guys very soon. Enjoy your day, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It really has been very powerful for me, and I really appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.